that the issue of food security has come up, and that our colleague from Nakshot brings it up, because it's a very integral part of resilience. It's important and impossible to conceive preparing for the future without getting a closer look at our food systems and the role that local governments need to play in food system in the urban era. So I am very grateful for those inputs. I also see a very clear space for sustainable tourism that Anna was bringing on behalf of the Union of Ibero-American Capital Cities of UCSI. Very critical topic, particularly now. I mean, it has always been very important, and we've been touching upon it, but I think it will now be very, very important in light of the COVID reality. We will need to rethink how that will look like. And it's a very important part of the economic recovery of a very big part of our membership. So I mean, we know that this is a topic that UCSI has been working on very impressively, I must say, with many interesting things that have been going on among cities during this pandemic to stimulate each other's tourism. My hope is that we can build on that specific work that has happened within UCSI, and that we can give it a broader framework, linking it up with other policy areas. So it's not about repeating the work, but giving it this more global dimension and linking it up with other agendas. So a very interesting proposal indeed that I hope other councillors can pick up on. I'm just signaling out those things that from my perspective at the Secretariat are topics that we can easily do something interesting with. But of course, it will be in the hands of the political representatives to bring this to further ports, let's say. But I certainly see potential there. I want to bring back the whole notion of response, recovery, and health emergencies. So extremely critical. And then I would say also that this aspect of crisis in the way that has been brought back by Dan. I think it's very important, but in here I would invite those of you that are very active in both our permanent working group and in the Policy Council to think what are the things that you would like to do in these two spaces, because there are different things. It's a more political debate that we need to. So if there are aspects of this response to humanitarian emergencies that we want to influence, then the Policy Council is a good space to discuss this. But if we want something specific to be done, and then maybe voicing the experiences of cities in the Global Alliance, for instance, done, and following the work of the Global Alliance on urban crisis, then I would say that probably the permanent working group is the perfect space. And I know the secretariat of that working group is here, our colleague Simone Giovetti on behalf of CUF as well, working closely with Geneva. I think Simone will identify with that, and I think Luca would also. But it's something that I invite you to look at bilaterally, and then we can adapt. Is the flexibility of a network like this. And then a comment on the proposals that were made by Belo Horizonte. Very much, very interesting on the approach of resiliency, certainly. On the issue of best practices, I think that the aspect of best practices is not one that policy councils would be the best place to invest in. I think if we want to gather and exchange on best practices, then let us look at the working groups. There are several working groups that are dealing with these things. Let us see whether we need a community of practice on this specifically that can feed into our learning process. Let us see whether, for instance, the campaign, Making Cities Resilient, networks can be the space. But I think the energy of our political representatives needs to be put in a broader debate. And that's what this space is meant to do. And then on the professionalization of international relations, I mean, you are preaching to the choir. Obviously, United Cities and local governments would not exist without you. Whether that is a policy council on resilience and safer cities, I'm not sure. But certainly we have a working group on capacity building where this is promoted, and also the general policy of the organization. So always certainly in partnership with ALAS, as you know, ALAS is very much part of the UCLG of the UCLG family. So nothing against prioritizing this and voicing this, the important role that you all play in these files. But going deeper into that discussion might not be that easy within the framework of this particular policy council. So overall, a very big job ahead. I see, Luca, I don't know what is your sense, but I see great potential as the space where we need to promote a transformational concept on ecological transition. As you know, we have the mandate now to develop a pact for the future that will be a new social contract with the people, with the planet, and with the government. I think planet and renewed relationship with the planet plays a very important role here, but also with the people. So this is a very critical policy council for us, with a lot of potential and a lot of possibilities. Luca, last word to you and the colleague of Nouakchott, if any, and then I propose that we send you the summary of this for next week,